Hello, you wonderful humans. Thank you for being here. It's Wednesday at 7 o'clock. That means it's time for our Wednesday weekly workshop where you get to ask Drew anything. Hi, I'm Drew. I'm the owner here at 3D Wellness. I'm also one of the clinicians on staff. And every Wednesday at 7 o'clock, I go live on Instagram and YouTube to answer all your questions using my more than 16 years of clinical experience as a nutritionist. I want you to feel well. And sometimes the difference between feeling well and not feeling well is just knowing what to do. So ask those questions because we're here to answer them. Thank you for being here. I have the incomparable Two Boots Lori LeClaire with me.
Happy September, everyone.
All right, so if this is your first time being here, thank you so much for being here. We are sincerely glad you are here. Chat in those questions, whatever the question is. Two Boots is here to read those. She'll read it off to me. We'll use the dry erase board here to answer those questions. We stay here as long as there are questions coming in. So, got questions? Chat or call us now. If you don't feel comfortable chatting in your question because you don't want your question associated with your username, no big deal. Use this phone number. We'll take your call. We won't even put you on speakerphone, and we'll answer your question. While we're waiting for some questions to roll in, I always like to go over what we saw this week in clinic. And it's a little bit of a puzzle, so you tell me if you can figure this out. If you figure this out, chat it right away. This week in clinic, we saw bloating, and it was the kind of bloating that was also affecting appetite. Just not feeling like eating. And bloated, which just seems really unfair that you're not hungry and you're bloated. Okay, joint pain. Bilateral, both sides of the body, joint pain going on. Brain fog. This is like really intelligent people. These are smart, bright people. They are good at their jobs. They know things, but they are having major trouble with recall and like getting it together mentally. And fatigue. Oh boy. Doesn't matter what time of day it is. Could be any time of day. In some extreme cases, it is all day where there is no respite. There is no relief from the fatigue.
You've got a puzzle there.
I do. Glad you noticed.
You did right away.
Did anybody chat in any ideas what I'm talking about? It's this. Did anybody chat in? Nope.
No.
It came up a bunch of times this week, and I think part of the reason it did is because the insane mosquito population we have right now in Wisconsin. It's a spirochete, just like syphilis. That's right, the sexually transmitted disease. It's the category of bacteria. It's the same family of bacteria. You wanna guess a letter? Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
We're gonna play hangman. Pick a letter.
I.
Yeah. Terrible start.
S.
Doesn't look good.
T. R.
Sorry, Two Boots.
B.
There you go.
Oh, is it lime?
It's lime!
Oh.
And I can't say this often enough. Lori hears me say it all the time. The disease is called Lyme disease. It's not plural. It's not named after somebody. It's Lyme disease.
It threw me off because you were talking about mosquitoes. I'm like, well, Lyme's from ticks, so that's.
Oh, I'm glad that came up too. Lyme can be transmitted via mosquitoes and even cats.
Whoa.
Yeah. So when people say, well, I don't live in a part of the country that's known for ticks, I couldn't have Lyme disease. Like, congratulations, but yes, you could because there are mosquitoes still. Mosquitoes are known to be capable of transmitting Lyme disease. Lyme is a kind of bacteria that kind of looks like these curly cues I put up here. It's called the spirochete. It's the same as syphilis, which is this really gnarly sexually transmitted disease. And for some people, that sexually transmitted disease is without symptoms when they first get it. Or the symptoms can be very short-lived, like 2 or 3 days, and then they clear up on their own. However, the bacteria stays in your body and it can really mess with your brain. And it does it behind the scenes. It's very subtle and very sneaky. And I learned about it when I was very young, so I was always very freaked out about getting a sexually transmitted infection. There is an age-old remedy for syphilis that happens to also be quite effective at helping people dealing with Lyme. And it's something that has come up in conversation this week. It's an herb called sarsaparilla. I think there's 2 L's. Sarsaparilla, age-old remedy, incredible at helping the human immune system fight back against spirochetes. If you're dealing with Lyme, if you know somebody who is dealing with Lyme, please reach out to us, have them reach out to us. We have this in stock. We know how to dose it. We know how to apply it. To anybody who's dealing with the category of bacteria where you get these little spiral-shaped things that are just gnarly. They're just totally gnarly. We're here to help you with your immune system.
I've got a question on
Yeah.
this then. The Lyme, we can have Lyme and it just be a low load of whatever
Yeah.
it is, right? And
Yep.
there's no apparent symptoms. As long as it stays low, we can be okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's not exclusive to Lyme. That's a lot of different immune challenges.
Sure.
Yeah.
So the reason why I'm asking, I guess,
Yeah.
is so I took my dog in for a snap test for heartworm and tick stuff, and
Yeah.
so she's no on the heartworm, but yes on the Lyme and anaplasmosis.
Okay.
So I don't see any, I don't know.
Any outward, yeah.
But how do you keep something like that at bay, like proactively, so it doesn't develop into symptomatic?
Yeah. Great question.
And that can apply to humans or pets, correct?
Yeah. And that can apply to a couple of different, so I'm going to start jotting. The term that I was taught to describe these things, and I don't know if it's like a universally, it's just what I was taught to call them, is stealth pathogens. So the idea of a stealth pathogen is it is something that is existing in your body, but it's not trying to be the star of the show, and it's not causing such a ruckus that it's disrupting everything in your life. It gets tricky because a lot of stealth pathogens have common symptoms with a lot of other things, so you don't necessarily point to them and say like, oh, it's this. Let me give you an example. Epstein-Barr virus is a really common example of this. Lyme is another example of this. Herpes, there's a couple of different types of herpes. They can exist in the background. Oh, I'm going to slap COVID on there. They can exist in the background and they are disruptive, but there's 2 parts. They're not so disruptive that it gets all of your attention, all of your effort to work on it. The other part is they have common symptoms with other issues. So you wouldn't necessarily say, oh, it's probably that Epstein-Barr virus I got when I was 16 just flaring up. You're probably not thinking that because the symptoms would be fatigue, brain fog, restlessness. Maybe I just watched the news for 20 minutes. Now I have all those things, right? So you wouldn't necessarily say, oh, it's Epstein-Barr virus. So these pathogens, these lousy things, are existing in the background. They're very stealthy. The way that we keep them at such a low level in our body that they can't mess with us is with ongoing immune support. We're not trying to do a detox with this program. We're not trying to do a cleanse with this program. What we want to do is nourish up your immune system in such a way that as it is managing these countless number of invaders and challenges and pathogens, that it is nourished in such a way that it can do all that work. And it's a lot of work. I got some basics. I've been working on this combo for a while. I'm excited about the future for this combo. More to come on that later. For now, what I want you to know, ongoing immune support at its most basic level should be Immuplex and our beloved Spanish black radish. Gotta have it. There's a reason. Oh no! We got stacks of them. There you go. Just randomly around here, I can just look at Lori and it's almost like it's like a wink, and she knows to go and get some SBR. And it's real simple. The most basic ongoing immune support you can do is just 2 of each a day. This is one of my favorite combos for the resistant person in your life. You know they need some nourishment. Like, you know that stuff isn't ideal in their body. They have whatever symptom, they have whatever complaint, but they don't like taking a lot of pills. They don't want to take a lot of supplements. They don't want to do the full program with us. They can just come in here and chat with us. We'll determine if this is the right thing for them. But it's really easy to do because it's just 2 of each a day. You can do it all at one time, knock it out at breakfast or knock it out at supper, and be done for the day. The most basic thing for that ongoing immune support. Now, when we get into the specific pathogens that are the cause of these things, if we were going to put in a third product here, that's where it really starts to diversify. I'll give you some examples, though. And this is all stuff that I've seen work throughout my career. But some of these, like especially in the last few years. So, the topic of COVID, the third thing I would add in there is a product that's called Circuplex. Circuplex is incredible nourishment for our circulatory system, our blood vessels, our veins and arteries. One of the things that makes it so special is that it has quite a good dose of phosphorus in it, which is a mineral that helps the body clean itself. COVID is very sticky. It likes to cling to things. It's like Velcro. And what Circuplex does nutritionally is it goes through our blood vessels and helps to uncling the COVID from the blood vessels. COVID is really good at sticking to blood vessels. So we want to fight back against it. What would be the next one? Oh, I don't want to give away all of my secrets all the time. I mentioned sarsaparilla for Lyme, so we'll leave that one alone. Let's talk about herpes. Not everybody's favorite topic to talk about if they're dealing with it. But I do echinacea or a product called Viranon. Viranon is a pretty excellent product. It's a combination of herbs that help target the part of the immune system that fight viruses. I always like to be super clear about this. These nutrients, these supplements, don't do the work for you. They nourish your body so your body can do the work, so that your body can learn from doing the work. I want you to think about it this way. One of the best things you can have is experience. So instead of taking some compound that does the work for your body, I would much rather your body gets nourished so it can have the experience of fighting back against whatever immune challenge it is. Products like Viranon, Circuplex, Spanish black radish, Immuplex, they are supporting your body so your body can have that experience and gain from the experience. We had a person apply to work with us here. She works with us now. One of the best things on her resume, college was pretty cool, all right, her experience level. She has worked in similar settings to this one. She's interacted with a lot of families. We see a lot of families here. Her experience had a lot of value. When I'm working with clients, I want to help their body have a positive experience. So in the future, when similar problems come up, their body goes, oh, I've done this before. Let's take care of business. Did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I mean, we've been talking about parasitic infections
Yeah.
matters for weeks now, so that makes sense about the immune system being supported.
Yeah.
As your best defense.
There's a lot of different immune challenges that are just downright impossible to fully say, I got it all the way out of the body. So the better idea is just to support your immune system on a regular basis so your body can deal with that. And get the numbers down so low that it's really easy to deal with it. It doesn't have to be difficult. All right, do questions roll in, or do I get to play guitar all night?
Nothing on Instagram, nothing on YouTube.
All right, keep asking those questions, folks. If they're coming to mind, ask away. You're always good for a question or two.
Sure. I'd like this next question to revolve. Well, in light of the recent flood that we had, a lot of people suffered great losses, water in the basement. We know oftentimes that can bring on mold situations, so got me thinking.
It can.
A home or office air purifier might be a great idea. So I was curious if you could tell the folks what are good things you want in a air purifier.
Sure. Yeah.
Qualities that you look for.
Let's do it. All right, air purifier. So there are many tiers to different air purifiers. Just like with water filters, I tell this to clients all the time. There's a preferred, ideal, optimal. It's like a cream of the crop, best of the best, Bentley, Rolls Royce kind of deal. Any amount of purification is better than no purification. So one of the most common words you're going to hear when you look at air purifiers is you're going to hear HEPA filter. Oh, not HERPA filter. HEPA filter. That is an effective filter. It does relatively large size particles really well. And it's inexpensive. It's easy to maintain. It's not the fanciest filter out there, but there's a reason that it's in pretty much every vacuum cleaner that's being made in our modern world. There's a reason that it's added to a lot of fans and turning those fans into air purifiers. Just a HEPA filter is not going to grab all the junk that I would like to see grabbed. However, any amount of filtering is better than no filtering. So HEPA is really important. A lot of other companies will use UV filters. That's where they have a powerful UV light inside of the air purifier, and that is blasting the air that's going through with UV. We know that concentrated UV light weakens a lot of immune challenges like bacteria and viruses. And that's a good thing, because if those immune challenges are getting weakened, if by some chance they do find their way to our body, there's less work for our immune system to deal with. That makes sense? Okay. There are carbon-based filters. Lori and I were just talking about this before. These grab a different size particle than the HEPA filters. So they have some similarity, but they grab different size things. So you will see some air purifiers that have both.
And they take care of like the odors.
They're really good at odors. Yeah. And just so we're understanding what VOCs are, volatile organic compounds. It's common in a lot of paints, for example. And odor. For the most part, carbon neutralizes odors really well. Definitely a different kind of filter than the HEPA, different than the UV light. So it's not rare to see that those will be alongside each other. Those are things that are purifying the air. There is a company, it's what we use here at the office, that combines all three of these. And I'm not sponsored by them, but hey, go ahead and tag them in the comments for me as much as you can. Let's see if we can get 3D Wellness a free air purifier here. The company is called Pura Cleanse.
They add one more to their list. It's PCO.
Oh.
And that is actively deactivating mold spores and bacteria. Super important.
Yep. Thank you, Lori. Boop, boop, boop. There it is. I went with Pure Cleanse. The first advertisement that I saw for them, they were talking about fighting mold with it. And in this office space, it is a shared office building. So the air is not exclusive to our suite here. So rather than say, like, oh, well, I'm just going to hope for the best, what we decided to do instead, we got the largest model that Pure Cleanse makes, and it's designed to handle up to 1,800 square feet. That's what we have here. So it's on all the time. It is always running. When we're not here, it's going. And we had it for about 2 weeks. And I walked in the building in the front door, and I went, the building smells different. What do you know? And there were no new tenants, nothing like that. I really like Pure Cleanse. I want to point something out that often gets mistaken as an air purifier. And this is ozone. Ozone generators. Sometimes it'll be labeled as O3 because that's what ozone is. These are not necessarily purifying air. These ozone generators are putting together a group of 3 oxygen molecules. And we know that oxygen can weaken mold, bacteria, viruses. It can help neutralize some odors, but it does not purify the air. So the big difference here with things like these filters that are inside of the Pure Cleanse, they're actually grabbing things and taking it out of circulation. An ozone generator is not taking it out of circulation, but it's binding to it instead. So it's a different thing. I got nothing against ozone generators. Just keep in mind it's very difficult for lungs to clear ozone, so avoid breathing it. My preference, however, is with a product like what Pure Cleanse makes, because we have multiple filtration methods helping clean up the air. I don't think it's that loud.
No.
Okay. Cool. Which is just a nice bonus. If you turn it up to the max setting, then you can hear it. We got a couple of clients. They're usually new clients who come in here, and when they first come in here, they're heavy on the perfume. And some of our clients are very sensitive to that stuff. So we'll crank up that air purifier to the max level just to help clean the air a little bit quicker. We also notice every now and then, because the Pure Cleanse has a little warning light on the top, tells you about air quality. Every now and then we see that it turns orange or red, indicating something's off with the air. And it always kind of puts us on alert, where it's like, all right, what changed? I like having that.
Curious if the model we have, did you get that particular size model because we're in an office space, or that just suits our suite, the 18 square foot?
1,800.
1,800 square.
Yeah, that was the biggest and best that they had.
Biggest and the best.
Yeah.
It's called Pure Cleanse Core. 750 is what it's called.
Is it the 750 or is it the 1,500?
750.
The 750?
Yeah. Is there one bigger even?
No, maybe it's a size smaller than, maybe it's 500. Okay. When I bought these, because I have one at home also, they had 3 different models. Now they only have 2 different models. I think I'm just mixing up model numbers. Yeah. Yeah, that was the biggest one available. Yeah.
There's other models out there based on what I've heard from Dr. Papa.
Okay.
That have the HEPA and the carbon. I don't know about the other things that you mentioned, but if somebody, at least those the HEPA and the carbon, in his opinion, are the most important.
Okay.
Like you said, something's better than nothing.
Absolutely.
And Air Doctor and Jasper are the 2 brands he likes.
Heard Air Doctor quite a bit. We got a number of clients who have Air Doctors. They like them. Yeah. And yeah, Lori, thank you for saying that again, because it bears repeating. Any amount of filtration is better than no filtration. I have clients who complain like, oh, all I have is a Brita filter for my water. Well, it's still better than nothing, especially if you're living on tap water. Grabbing something out of that tap water is better than nothing getting taken out of that tap water. Some of our clients who got a lot of water in the basement, I was sending them a link to the Pure Cleanse website. So like, hey, you should really get serious about buying one of these. All right, other questions that have come up.
Nothing rolling in.
Nothing rolling in?
No, rolling out.
I'm ready.
A friend of mine wants to start a water fast.
Oh.
I was curious what your opinion about water fasts, like the pros and the cons, and duration that's healthy.
Sure. It's a good question. Now, this is one of those terms that is entirely too popular. So there are countless variations on water fasting, some of them reckless, some of them not reckless. There's no preset or widely agreed upon duration for a water fast. So I want to go over the things that I look at when a client comes in talking about that, just so you can get some insight into what am I thinking about when somebody brings up water fast. Okay. First thing, body mass. Do they flat out have enough body that if they go without food for 1 or 2 or 3 days, that it's not endangering their wellness? I have had clients in the past that are already very lean, very svelte, and they want to do something like a water fast, and I'm trying to dissuade them from that because it feels more like disordered eating than something for the sake of helping their body get cleaner, purified kind of thing. So first things first, is there enough body there that we can safely do any kind of fasting? Okay. Second thing I'm looking at on their hair tissue mineral analysis, I'm looking at their oxidation rate. There's 3 kinds of oxidation rates. There's fast, there's mixed, there's slow. For the most part, a water fast is only going to be a good plan for somebody who is dealing with slow oxidation or the slow variation of mixed. So their body needs to be going at a slow rate. And I bring that up because when we're doing a water fast, we're not getting calories in and day out. Our body is going to start to turn on the reserves of things that we have here. It's part of the reason I mentioned body mass first. A slow oxidizer or a mixed oxidizer who's on the slow side of things is going to have an easier time with their body using up the fuel that's already there because their body converts things into energy more slowly. So it's an easier process for them. Compared to a fast oxidizer, their body does things at a quicker clip. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you take calories away from that person, their body starts to burn up the reserve of energy that they had. And usually they feel pretty crummy trying to pull off a fast because they run out of fuel. That makes sense? So I'm looking at their body mass. Is there enough body mass? And then I'm looking at their hair analysis and which oxidation rate are they? Is it actually appropriate for them to do some kind of water fast? The third thing that I want to look at is their stress level. Because very often what's going on is the person is very stressed out and they're looking for one less thing to do. And that one less thing is going to be eating food. Because it is way less effort to fill up a water bottle 3 or 4 times a day than it is to prepare 3 meals, to plan meals, to grocery shop for meals, etc., etc. I've had it a number of times with clients over the years. Their stress level is extraordinary and they say, it's time for a fast. And I'm like, why? They say, well, it's just going to be easy. All I have to do is drink water for 3 days. It's not that easy. I don't want those stress hormones, that stress state that people get into, to carry into the fasting state because it's going to make the fast less effective. So there's a really stressed out person and they want to fast. We're going to talk about how to manage stress and work on that first before we go into a water fast. Yeah. Fourth thing I'm going to look at, Water source. Needs to be clean. Needs to have minerals. Needs to minimize plastics. This gets kind of tricky. I really like reverse osmosis water and I like distilled water. They lack minerals though, so we want to do something to put minerals back into them. I want people to have clean, pure water, but I don't want it to be so pure that it lacks minerals. Lori is trying to hint something to me. I'm going to try to figure out what it is real quick. Oh, this? Mintran? Huh. Who knew? Convenient. Well, just happen to have some. Wow. Well, it's not even expired. Great. Okay. Anyways, stuff like this can be a really big deal during a water fast because it is calorically non-existent. 3 tablets has 5 calories. Clients ask me about this sometimes. This is made out of food. There's going to be calories when things are made out of food, and calories are okay. Calories are the opposite of a problem. Mintran can help. If you get really clean water, it's distilled, it's reverse osmosis, it's lacking minerals. A couple of these during the water fast doesn't break your fast and gives you the minerals we need to actually make the water fast more effective. Minimizing plastics means if you can, get somebody who has like an under the sink unit so that you're not buying water in plastic jugs because that plastic's pretty low grade typically, not very good. It's breaking down more easily. And there was a recent report that glass bottled water actually has more microplastics in it than plastic bottled water. So I'm looking into that right now because it sounds like something that would be said to keep people from drinking better water. So I'm looking into that. More on that later. Clean water, make sure it has minerals in it. I love Mintran for that. Minimize plastics. All that being said, somebody has an appropriate amount of body mass, they are a slow or a slow mixed oxidizer, their stress level is in check, and they have a good source of water, then we can talk about a water fast. Depending on how slow their oxidation rate is, that would tell me how long they can fast for.
Depending on the rate of their slow oxidation, how do you determine that?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Aha! Giving away all the secrets. Let's do it. All right, so the slower the oxidation rate, the longer you can water fast for. When we're dealing with slow oxidation, our body is converting food into fuel very slowly. It's converting the reserves we have on our body, like fat deposits, into fuel very slowly. So the slower it does that work, let's say we had a 1 pound supply of fuel. A slow oxidizer is going to take longer to cook off that 1 pound of fuel than a fast oxidizer. Fast oxidizer with 1 pound of fuel can burn through it really quickly. So as it gets slower and slower in the oxidation rate, we can water fast for longer and longer because our body has an easier time doing that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Just so you know, if you're wondering how you determine your oxidation rate, all you have to do is look at your calcium level on your hair analysis, your magnesium level on your hair analysis, your sodium level, and your potassium level. The balance of those 4 minerals allows us to know what the oxidation rate is. I am not messing around when I say this. We say it to people regularly. If you have questions about your hair analysis, here's our contact info. It's not a bait and switch. It's not a trick. It's not a trap. Halloween is next month. If you have questions about your hair analysis, I don't care if you got it somewhere else. I don't care if you got it in Timbuktu. I don't care if you use a different lab than I use. If you want to understand what's going on with your body better, you need a call or email, and we're going to help you. Just wanted to make sure you knew that. I feel like I got really serious for a second. Just because I'm adamant. If you have questions about that stuff.
You made a comment about knowing the rate at which someone is a slow oxidizer.
Yeah.
So do you use the hair tissue mineral analysis to determine whatever those levels are at?
Yep.
It can help you discern that. Okay.
Yep. And every company that does hair analysis that I've seen in my entire career measures those 4 minerals. There's variations beyond that depending upon the company, but every hair analysis chart I've ever seen had at least those 4 minerals on it. And that's all we need to determine the oxidation rate.
Curious if the level of those 4 are close to the ideal.
Yeah.
Does that indicate a slower? Not really, huh?
No. That
Yeah, you don't have to go into all the details, but
it's kind of fun.
Go ahead.
I kind of want to.
All right.
When these 4 minerals are balanced, the person is the best version of a fast oxidizer. They're not so fast that they burn through fuel supplies too quickly, but they are so fast that their body handles things like immune challenges very swiftly. It's a beautiful balance point. We want the body to do certain things quickly, like handle immune challenges or toxin exposures, and not burn through food too quickly. And that is a version of fast oxidation that happens when these 4 minerals are balanced. It's a beautiful place to be. It's a beautiful place to be. I spent about 2 years there, and I remember just like day in and day out, things just went well. Yeah, it's pretty cool. That's water fasting and hair analysis. All right, you wonderful humans. You know the rules. What are the workshops in September, 2 Boots?
What are they or when are they?
What are they?
What are they? On the 13th of September, we have autumn challenges.
Yes.
And then on Thursday, September 18th, is common toxic ingredients.
Oh, that's a good one.
One of my favorites.
Okay, so probably. So the 13th, that one, we're talking about autumn challenges. We talk a lot about mold in that one. We talk a lot about allergies in that one. We talk a lot about circulation because that's usually when people start to say, my hands and feet are cold even when I'm indoors. I'm inside my house and the furnace is working, but my feet are still cold. Tip of my nose gets cold, that kind of stuff. And then the common toxins, beauty care stuff, skin care stuff, fragrances, car cleaning products, tons of stuff that there are safe versions of it that don't mess with us. We're going to go over brands. We're going to go over places to buy that stuff. Yeah. It's a good workshop. It's a good workshop. Well, it's always sad to see you go, but all good things must come to an end. So I'm going to play you out here using my handy looper pedal. I'm going to jam for just a minute. Thanks for being here. Thanks to everybody who watches these even after the fact, and to the 330 subscribers we now have on YouTube. Oh, I love it. Remember when we used to have 12? We were like, how are we ever going to get more subscribers? It's so cool. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next week.